painting yoga session number 5. This is a really fun conversation, and I want to unpack a little bit this theme of the canvas, your art journal, as a mirror, your creative practice as a mirror. And this applies, well, it applies in so many ways. I was just thinking like dance, drumming. I'm going to a drumming event tonight. All of those things are mirrors. Life is a mirror. What we are doing with this painting practice is intending to learn more about ourselves, as well as reflect onto the canvas what we want to experience in our lives. We are going to generate from the inside out. We are going to cause the effect that we want to experience. That is basically the same thing as the canvas serving as a mirror, or life serving as your mirror. It's cause and effect. You actually cause the effects that you're experiencing in your life. Now, disclaimer before I go on. This is a teaching that is widespread, has been taught for centuries. This is nothing new. It holds water, in other words. And there are exceptions to every rule, and there are elements of life that I want you to understand. Like, if something tragic happens to someone in your family, that's not a result of your thoughts, okay? What will be reflected back to you is the experience surrounding that tragedy. And I'm only using that as an example. I remember having a conversation with one of my creatively fit coaches once, and she did not cause this tragedy. And maybe you know who you are. The way you handled and responded to that tragedy, right? Seeded so much amazing work that you now do in the world, beautiful relationships with your family. So this is a conversation that is created here to be shared with as many people as possible. And of course, if you are interested in more one-on-one coaching around this, you want to reach out to me privately, reply back to any of my emails, or comment below and let me know that you'd like me to email you. Okay? So with that being said, this is a general rule. Like, if you're getting curious, like, why is this always happening? Or, wow, look at all this amazing stuff happening. Invite in this teaching and see if it measures up. Okay? The second thing I'll just mention is that in this yoga painting practice, we are going to paint a symbol that mirrors what you want to be looking at in the art that is your life. Okay? So get excited for that. Now, cause and effect. The canvas is a mirror. This works both ways. So the first way is the canvas. I'm just going to use the canvas even though we're using the art journal here. I'm using an art journal. Maybe you're using a canvas in these yoga painting sessions. So the canvas serves as a mirror in that it will reflect back to you your internal landscape. Okay? If you tend to be critical of yourself, which is just an easy example because we all do it, right? If you beat yourself up, you're critical. If you're a perfectionist, which is kind of a shade of that, you will find yourself being critical while you paint. So your experience, your creative practice, your painting practice will also reflect back to you that inner critic so that you can see it and then choose. Not out of any kind of wagging finger or you're doing something wrong. This is a beautiful truth about life, is that your experience, in this case at the canvas, does mirror back for you what's going on inside so that you can be aware and you can choose. Okay? If that didn't happen, you might not understand that your inner critic or that tendency towards perfectionism is actually detracting from your ability to create what you want into the art that is your life. So this is a gift. Okay? Likewise, we can flip that and we can consciously mirror onto the canvas what we want to be reflected back to us in the art that is our life. So say the first step is you're painting and you start thinking thoughts like, oh my gosh, I suck at this. Look at all those people who commented and posted pictures below and theirs are so good and mine's not good. You're comparing yourself, things like that. Okay, you're doing that in the art that is your life, okay? And you will probably experience that coming back to you. You may experience other people being critical or other people comparing themselves to you. Again, all of this is to support you, is to show you like, hey, this is going on. Do you want to continue along this path, right? So that's one way. So then you can choose either, I like my inner critic, dang it, right? I mean, you can choose that. It's fine, totally fine, up to you. Or you could choose to be more unconditionally loving of yourself, more supportive. You could choose to allow your inner critic to become discernment, which is a great thing to have, and invite in your inner cheerleader. So you can send that into the mirror that is the canvas. And as you paint, you may hear that, oh, that sucks. I'm choosing something different. Look at me try new things. Look at me go. Look at me painting with red. Look at me holding the brush. I'm so great at holding the brush. I'm so good at dipping it in the color and dipping it in the water. I rock at this. Just while you paint, you can practice being the way you want to be. And then it will become more and more familiar. Again, the neural pathway will be created. Your inner cheerleader neural pathway will get wider and wider. And then in the rest of your life, you may find yourself cheering yourself on as well, rather than criticizing yourself. I'd say that's worth the price of admission, right? Okay. Likewise, we can take the mirror that is the canvas and paint onto it a symbol, an image that reflects back to us, that is energetically aligned with something we want more of. Okay, now if you've already experienced lesson 5 in Rise Above, you know that we painted a very large animal ally onto the canvas that is a powerful symbol of many things. And first and foremost, for us right now, it is a symbol of intuition. It is a symbol of taking up space. So say you wanted to develop your intuitive ability, you wanted to develop your confidence in being yourself and showing up in your full glory, you would paint this particular animal ally. Just in case you haven't watched the lesson, I'm not going to spoil the surprise. Now, at the canvas or your art journal today in this painting yoga session, I am going to open up the entire animal kingdom and any other symbol, but for the sake of conversation and streamlining, we are going to I am going to speak to the animal kingdom, and you are going to paint an animal ally, an animal that reflects a quality that you would like to experience more of in your life. Okay? So here's the other thing that I want to mention, that I listen to and read a lot of books and teachings and trainings and things around this topic of how to live life in our greatest alignment, with greatest resonance, at our highest vibration, as consciously and mindfully as possible. And every single one of those teachings includes something about life being a mirror. And I'll give you a couple personal examples that are pretty easy to digest. Okay. One example is if you are dropping things and losing things, forgetting things, double booking yourself a lot, that is life mirroring for you that you are scattered on the inside and you are being invited to ground. the funniest example for me was I was traveling a lot. This was around 2013, so it was right after leaving my marriage. It was a lot of newness going on. You could say I was scattered a lot, right? I had missed a flight coming back from like Toronto, Canada, because my phone hadn't changed. I didn't have it set to change time zone. So I'm on my way to the airport thinking I've got plenty of time and the plane's already left. Sleep in the airport all night, get back to Portland, pick up my car at a friend's house, go to a graphic design shop to pick up scans. Walking out of the store, I'm juggling these like 3 canvases and my like this big red leather wallet. And I remember this so clearly. I put the wallet on the top of the car so I could put the canvas in the car, close the door, get in the car, drive off. I'm leaving in that moment to drive back 5 hours to Joseph, Oregon. I go to get my wallet out to buy gas because the tank needed gas, and I realized I never took the wallet off the roof of the car. Okay, seriously, you can see where my priorities are. Like, I put the canvas in the car, left the big old wallet. Oh no, here's even the rest of that story. I watched it drop on the ground. I never picked it up. I mean, we're talking super scattered. So the good news is, here's what you do when you lose things. This is an extra little bonus for this lesson. You don't freak out. You don't start beating yourself up, okay? I owned that I was feeling scattered, and I canceled the credit cards. I'm still in the car. I'm turning around. I called the coffee shop to see if anyone had found it. I checked, I think, Facebook messages, things like that. I let it go. I'm like, I'm safe. My credit cards are canceled. Yes, there was like $180 in cash I'd earned at this conference. It would have been nice. The person probably needs it better than I do if they keep it, and I'm letting it go. So I brought myself back to my center. Okay, I'm not saying I do this all the time, and I've learned this the hard way, okay, but it works. So I called the coffee shop. They didn't have it. Turned around. I'm driving back to go borrow money from my friend, cash, to fill up the tank. And about 20 minutes later, I get a call from the coffee shop. Someone had found the wallet in the bathroom. Everything was there except the cash. So I got it back, okay? So life was reflecting to me, sorry if that got kind of long. Life was reflecting to me the scatteredness. Another one that I'm very familiar with, in case you are someone who sprains ankles, I'm not saying this is always why you sprain ankles, but I've sprained my ankles multiple times, broken my wrist most recently. Actually, when I fell off the horse and I was on a walker, I remember cracking up about this because I tend to be someone who is busy, kind of rushing between things. Okay? I think I've always been that way, right? Mom, as a baby, I was up all the time. I had to be doing something. So anyway, so I'm a busy girl. I know it's in my best interest to create more space within which I slow down, which if you look closely at the image from lesson 4's journal entry after painting seeds, that's exactly what I wrote about. I set this intention regularly. It is one of the tip-top items on my to-do list these days, for years actually. I'm still trying to master this, or even get to the student stage of this. So when I injure myself, when I get sick, when I'm too tired to do something, I choose to receive it as a guide, as life offering me time to slow down. I didn't listen. Boom. I got kind of what I call the cosmic 2x4. Okay? So fender benders, things like that, late fees, all those kinds of inconveniences often are mirrors for you. They're signposts saying, yo, yield, slow down, stop, take more time for yourself, more self-care, become more aware of yourself, right? What you need and what you want so you don't have a collision. So you can learn about yourself and what's going on inside through these types of experiences, or you can do it at the canvas, right? Let's learn this at the canvas. Let's go to the canvas, go to your painting practice, your painting yoga practice. And one intention that you could start with, which I guess is what we're starting with today, is show me something in this process that I might want to choose to change in order for me to live my most fulfilled, most inspired, most lit up life. Just like pulling an oracle card, for those of you who do that. What do I need to know right now? You can also do that. So, connect to your breath. Slow it down, right? See how I'm doing this? Maybe you can practice the pauses. And set an intention to learn something about yourself at the canvas. That as you paint, just like looking in a mirror, you will be able to see more clearly your reflection and allow that reflection to be something that you may want to choose to change. I'm thinking of a creatively fit coach who had a client who the client was complaining that the first layer of her painting was so muddy. So wisely, the creatively fit coach asked, are your insides, does your mind feel muddy and clouded and confused? Boom. Right? So this is the invitation for our painting yoga today. Thank you for being here. Let's go to the canvas.